Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Hardcore. Oh my goodness. Hello. How did you get up here? No. Oh my gosh, come on. Welcome back to another episode of Hardcore Minecraft. Now, unfortunately, a lot of you may have noticed that I didn't get an episode out last week. Unfortunately, I had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, and I just didn't have time to get an episode out. But we are back this week, and there is a lot of work to be done. One thing that I've been doing a lot lately, I've been doing a lot of building, I've been doing a lot of farming, but there is one thing that I have been neglecting. If you can notice it as I move from the front to the back here, and that's terraforming. Now, fun fact about me, I hate terraforming. I think it is necessary for making really good builds and for integrating them into the surroundings, but I hate doing it and I tend to avoid it at all costs. But I'm getting a little bit sick of looking at this patchy land here, and I feel very enclosed in this area, and I want to push the trees back a little bit further and kind of make it so there's almost like a gradient between the trees, kind of make the area around the building more like a sparse swamp or like mangrove forest, and then it obviously goes out into the more dense forest. And then obviously, have some areas for some other stuff, maybe some other buildings, maybe like some ponds. Who knows? I haven't really planned that far ahead yet, but yeah, this needs to change. This needs to change. But unfortunately, that means clearing out a lot more trees again. So, I'm sorry. Did anyone else just see that? Now, at this point, I had been chopping trees for several hours and was extremely locked in just listening to music and vibing. So at the time, I did not notice this happen and I genuinely thought that my axe just broke. So, I think I just broke my axe. I'm gonna be so for real. I was listening to music and not paying attention. Um, and now my axe is gone. So, that's not great. Alright, I ended up watching that clip several times and I was 100% convinced at first that my axe just disappeared or glitched out of my inventory, but after spending several hours editing this video and watching this clip back several times, I noticed something in the background. Right there is my axe. Somehow I threw it out of my inventory. It went through the blocks and I just did not notice at all. And I just, because I was so locked in, I was listening to music and I just did not realize that I threw my axe and I thought I broke it. Alright, guys. After doing some thorough research, and consulting flashback, I see clearly what happened, and this might actually be the most embarrassing clip of me ever. I blame the fact that I had been chopping trees for like 2+ hours at this point. It was like the middle of the night. I was exhausted. I was locked in. I was listening to music. That is my only excuse for this clip that I'm about to show. What the heck? I literally just threw the axe and I didn't even realize. Went straight over the block. Like, hello? I'm sorry. What? And I for some reason just didn't think to even check the area after I lost my axe. I just assumed that it had broken because I wasn't paying attention. Oh my gosh, that might be the funniest video I have of me. Well, anyways, I got a lot of progress done on this side. It might not look like it just from this view, but when you compare it to the other side, yeah, that's a lot. And mangrove leaves is third on my statistics. And logs are catching up. Mangrove roots 10,000. Wow. Oh my gosh, 95,000 stone. That's crazy. Yeah, so I think I'm probably gonna take a break. I definitely need to go get a new axe now, so I'm probably gonna go try get a little bit of netherite, which I'm probably just gonna do off camera, but anyways, the trees, I'm probably just gonna pick at them off camera between projects, but hopefully by the end of the episode it looks pretty much done. At least clearing the trees. As far as the terraforming goes, I'm gonna work on I think this grass part next and maybe filling in some of the water here. But yeah, I'm not gonna go too crazy yet just because I still don't really have a plan for it. I'm kind of just winging it. So I guess we'll just see as we go. I did get a lot of mangrove logs though, just over a shulker box, which is nice because I've been low on wood, which honestly isn't really a big deal now because I do have the tree farm, which I kind of keep forgetting about, but and we're getting some bone meal from the roots and from the leaves and all this extra stuff, so not too bad. And then lots of sticks too, but we'll find a use for those somewhere. But yeah, this is great. Alright, let me see what my axe. Let me see what my options are for a new axe. Eee. Right. Okay, I guess we're just gonna have to make one from scratch. Yay. We're back. That feels much better. Alright, well now that some of the trees are cleared and the moss is everywhere, and we finished kind of our blank can- Ooh, hello. we've kind of got our blank canvas ready for when we start terraforming. I'm going to take just a small little break. One thing that I have been really needing for a while now is more beacons. Now, I'm not quite ready to make a wither skeleton farm. That is a bigger project that I'm hopefully going to get to soon, but I'm not quite ready this episode, so I think I'm just going to spend like an hour or two in the nether and just see how many wither skulls we can get. Even if we get even like one or two more beacons here, I want to have like two here minimum and put one over in kind of our industrial district for like regen and stuff for when I'm AFKing like the raid farm or the shulker farm. But yeah, I want to try and get at least two more today. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a little bit of a break and then we're going to get back to the terraforming. Oh, maybe this is it. I'm gonna say it again. Blazes are my least favorite mob. I hate them. I'm convinced that zombie pigmen intentionally walk in front of you while you're swinging your sword to try and get hit. Okay. Get out. Okay. Go away. Skeletons also suck. Equally. You still following me? Yes, you are. Okay. Okay. Go away. Get out of here. Oh. Before anyone asks, no, my heads mod is not affecting the drop rate of the skulls either. I have the, like, you can kind of configure the drop rates, and I haven't really touched them all that much, but I made sure that the drop rate for the wither skulls is like the same as like it would be in like regular Minecraft, so don't worry, the drop rates are still the same. Oh. I think it's so funny when they drop a head and then they pick it up and one of them puts it on. It's for the blaze flame things. Hey! Whoa! Whoa! It was rude. Okay, you know what? I think I have enough. I have 9 skulls, which I think is plenty for now. What is that? What is that? The heck? That's so weird. Yeah, I have 9, which I think is enough for now, at least until we can get a farm going for those, but then that way I can put 2 more probably at my base, and then 1 over by the shulker farm. Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, guess we're flying home. Alrighty, let's do this. Now, I'm pretty sure I have said this in one of my videos before, but whenever I fight the wither, I always do it underground like this, down in the deep slate layer, because I honestly find that the wither is a great way to mine deep slate. It's a lot faster than just mining it by hand. So if you just dig a long tunnel like this, then continuously keep punching the wither, it's just going to keep mining this. As long as you're punching it with something that's like not your sword, like something that's not going to do a lot of damage, because every time you punch it, it's going to break some blocks and then move forward. So if you're punching it with like your fist or something, you can just kind of keep punching it infinitely and break as much stone as you want. Now, obviously, you want to try and keep it under 5 minutes, or else the blocks behind you are going to start despawning. But, yeah, I always do it underground like this. I just think it's the easiest, or the quickest way, I guess, to collect a lot of deep slate quickly. Not that I really need it right now, but you never know. Put this on. There we go. Now we have all this deep slate. And there's number 2. Number 3. Now, I will say that took significantly less time than I was expecting it to, so, that's nice. And there we go. 3 beacons. Alright, now the expensive part. Now, I have been doing some AFK at the iron farm for a bit to try and save up for this. I have also started breeding some villagers down here. Oh my god. Where did you come from? As I was saying, I have started breeding some villagers down here to get more of them to trade for emeralds. So that way we can have nice green beacons everywhere. But the insides may not all be completely green, but that's okay. No one has to know. I mean, except for everybody watching this, but anyways, yeah. So I'm gonna do a little bit more villager breeding and villager trading and iron AFKing, so that way we can put some beacons around, and yeah, that's all pretty boring stuff, so I'm probably gonna do most of it off camera. Yeah, so I'm gonna go do that now. Oh, whoa, okay, one of you must pick those up. Hey, there we go. Go away. Not interested. We are not hiring anymore. Okay, that's nice. Pick those up, please. Thank you very much. You're very cooperative. I am just hoping that this doesn't spawn. Nope. Sorry, buddy. I hope this doesn't spawn an iron golem and kill him, because that would be extremely unfortunate. Alright, we're gonna go quickly, quickly, quickly. No, 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 no. Uh. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey. None of that, please. Ugh. I knew that was gonna happen. Okay. 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 We're fine. Yeah, I mean, I know, buddy, I know. I know, he looks like you. I know he's trying to kill these guys. I know. It's a rough day. But, fortunately, This is how it's gotta happen. I'm really sorry. Okay, yep, that's okay. Come on. Oh, I just realized I forgot to put my armor back on. Okay, that could have been bad. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh. Oh. I actually just like jumped out of my chair. That scared me so bad. Oh. Dude, Iron Golems are no joke. They have actually ended hardcore series for me before. So every time I have to kill them, I always get so scared. For good reason. That was scary. Alrighty. Hopefully this 5 stacks plus 2 stacks and 47 emeralds and iron. Hopefully that'll get us enough for 3 beacons. Let me just grab, oh, not on this side. Grab some, oh, that's right, I used it all. I might as well use some diamonds. Grab the beacons. Alright, now, where do I want these? I think, since we kind of have one in the middle, I might do one, like, over here and then one over there, maybe? Or one there and then one back there. Yeah, I think let's do that. Okay, let's do one back here. And yes, I already know that there's going to be people saying, well, the beacons aren't fully whatever. They're like half and half, or they're half iron, half emeralds. Like, that's like cheap or whatever. Like, you should make them all out of emeralds or all out of iron, whatever. I don't really care. Eventually, when I'm rich enough to make full beacons out of emeralds or diamonds or iron or whatever, I will switch them out. But I'm not rich enough for that yet. So here we are. And it's fine. Literally after this episode, no one's gonna see this ever. So, it doesn't really matter. I don't think I'm gonna have enough emeralds though for 3 full emerald beacons. I will be 100% honest. But regardless, there's one. Let's do... Maybe I'll just do haste 1 and regen on this one. Or should I do resistance? Should I do regen resistance? I might do that. For this one. Yeah. And then the one up front, we'll just do a haste 2 beacon. And number 2. That's 3 done. Just gonna put buttons on this one so that the shulkers can't teleport out. Alright, I think 4 beacons total is pretty good for now. I am kind of hoping to start doing some work on the nether, so like the bartering farm, the wither skeleton farm, and then also like starting on the nether hub pretty soon. I think maybe in the next like 4 or 5 episodes. I'm hoping to get started, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you know, 1 episode a week, that's, I guess within the next like month, give or take, I'm kind of hoping to get started on some of that, especially the nether hub. I have been very antsy to start working on that, but I've kind of wanted to get a decent chunk of my actual base done before I start that, because I don't want to get too distracted and then lose focus on the base. But I think we are getting pretty close, and now that we're getting more and more portals connected to our nether system, I think it's going to make a little bit more sense if we at least start digging out the nether hub and move everything to one level to make it easier to get around. But for now, we're gonna have to just leave it as it is. Now, there is one more thing that I want to do today, and we're actually not going to be doing it on my hardcore world. I am actually going to be going over to my creative test world and trying out some custom trees because I'm kind of getting to the point in the terraforming where I want to start making things look a little more lively, a little more natural, a little more organic. And that's going to include things like rocks and ponds and bushes and trees. And trees, especially, I have had some difficulty with and I am not very experienced at. So I want to do a couple of practices on my creative server and then, see what you guys think. Maybe get some opinions before I start putting them in my actual world. So let's hop on over there and start building some trees. Alright, I am here on my creative test server. You can see here that there is some stuff built behind me. You might also notice that my render distance is really low because I'm trying to avoid spoilers as much as possible. So this in the background, that's all you're getting because there's some big plans built over there, as well as all of the testing that I did for my previous hardcore world. So I'm out in this blank area where there's no spoilers to practice building some trees. Um, I do have Axiom and Lightmatica installed as well, but I'm probably not going to be using them very much because I haven't had a chance to just like sit down and like practice, I guess. I've never used them before. I literally just downloaded them a couple of weeks ago. So I haven't had a chance to learn how to use them yet. So I might, who knows, maybe I'll do that on stream someday, but for now we're just gonna be doing this the old-fashioned way. Now I'm gonna put a couple of reference pictures on screen. These are kind of the vibes that I'm going for. I think I want to do some like sparse trees closer to my base, and then, as we go further out, maybe include some different kinds, maybe like make it a little bit more of a dense forest, maybe add some dead trees as well. But yeah, this is sort of the style that we're going for. I'm just gonna play around with some, shapes and colors and textures today. So I'm gonna just like look through the crafting menu and just kind of see what there is. Like there is a lot of like browns, but then also like this like gray moss. Like I think the pale hanging moss is gonna be a really good addition for this. Same with maybe the what's it called? The glowberries, but like without the glowy bit on it. I'm gonna maybe kind of work up a couple different palettes here. I might just start with like a basic shape with this and then smooth it out after. I feel like this trunk needs to be a bit thicker. Like maybe something kind of like, oh, this is way too straight. Maybe something like that in terms of like a shape. And then we kind of do, let's see what we have for leaf options. Now, obviously we can smooth things out with like, see stairs or maybe like slabs. Slab, maybe, and maybe some fences too. Let's try like spruce. Then we can kind of get into like skinnier branches, I guess. Like stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's cool. Okay, okay. I think that's decent. I think that's okay. Um, maybe we get like some of this stripped. Sprinkle some of that in, maybe like more on the top, and then have like the darker stuff like on the bottom to kind of shade it almost. and then kind of use it as like roots. Okay, I think for like a tree trunk that looks pretty good. What other brown? Oh, I think that might be a little bit too dark. I think that might be a little bit too light. What about like mushroom block? I think that's a little bit. I think it's oh yeah, no, that's way too light. What? Huh? Is this like a feature? Is this a feature on like Axie? What? I did not know this was a thing. Is this a thing from Axiom where I'm just right clicking and it's That's so cool. Wait. What about you? Okay. I think it might be a little bit light. I think this is a little bit too smooth. Yeah. Well, you know, it's actually not bad. Maybe more down here. Okay. I think that's not bad. I think for a first attempt, not terrible. Now the scary part is the leaves. I think I'm gonna start with just the mangrove leaves. Just what would go? Ooh, maybe the azalea leaves would be good with it. Like maybe we do this like on the bottom and then we do the azalea on the top to kind of help shade it a bit. Okay, that's not terrible. Ooh, okay, you know, I actually kind of like that. And then maybe, can I put like the hanging roots underneath? Will these go in leaves? No, they won't. Okay, so same issue. What does this look like though? Okay, maybe put it more on like this. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. And then maybe we can do this too. We can hide these inside. Need to be moss. Yeah, it does. Okay. Maybe something like this. I kind of like it. I think for like a first attempt, it looks pretty good. And I like this combination of the leaves. Let me, like, I think they have the closest color. I think maybe birch leaves could work too. They're a little bit like more see-through than these ones though, which I don't love. But I do like the shape of this a lot. I think maybe some of these vines can actually go lower. Like in the pictures that I'm looking at, like they go really low. Not gonna go all the way around because it doesn't really matter right now, but and then we can use the leaf litter as kind of like a little gradient. Oh, I'm actually really happy with this. I think this is like a good first attempt at a tree. I mean, let me know what you think. Obviously, I built this from one perspective. I did not bother to do the back at all because this is just like a test. Obviously, in my world, I'm gonna, in the hardcore world, we're gonna do like the full 360 and make it look nice from all sides. But for now, I just kind of focused on the front, which I think is fine for now. I think I'm gonna try seeing what like a dead tree might look like. I think if I do the acacia, ooh, maybe the pale oak. I don't want to go for like a really funky shape. Now this one's obviously really big, and then we can do some like smaller ones. The only thing is we don't really have a good fence this color. Like I'm kind of limited to the walls. I don't hate it. I think this trunk needs to be a little bit bigger. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Maybe if there's a couple of areas that still have like a little bit of leaves on it. Okay, okay. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I think the dead trees need a little bit of work. I don't hate it. I don't love it. But I think it's definitely somewhere. I mean, even then, like I'm not ready to get into the whole dead tree section anyways. Like this, I still have a lot of time to figure this out, but I'm very happy with how my alive tree turned out. I think this one looks very nice, and I think that this is probably the style that I'm gonna go for. I'm kind of happy with, this ended up being like a one and done type of thing. Let me know what you think, and if any of you out there build trees more than I do. I mean, I don't know all that much about it. Like I know about texturing and about, using slabs and like fences and stuff, but other than like adding this kind of foliage here, I don't really know what you can do to kind of make them more dynamic or like bushier, I guess. I kind of did my best with the leaves here. Um, but I find that it's kind of hard to texture leaves without looking like very flat. Like I think, I don't know, moss is kind of a good block to use, but I find that there's not a ton of like blocks that are good to make the leaves any more dynamic. I think most of the texturing happens in the trunk, but anyways, let me know what you think about those. Please give me some pointers on the dead trees. It's kind of hard to get this gray color and get these like spindlies because like unless I did maybe jungle or I just lean all the way into it and go pale oak, but it's kind of hard to get anything thinner than this. Um, yeah, as like a dead tree color. But anyways, yeah, let me know what you think. Um, and hopefully in the next episode, I'm gonna get to, you know, integrating some of these ideas into the actual terraforming. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.